Let's go. I'm Christopher Pitt, and welcome to the Pursuit to Own podcast. At Pursuit to Own, we are pursuing ownership at every level of life, whether it's mindset, business, life, or real estate. Our goal is to get you from renting to owning your future. See, I felt the pain of poverty growing up as a sharecropper in zip code 27843. I understand the struggle of living in a one-bedroom shack, owning nothing, not even running water. But I turned that pain into purpose by becoming a premier affordable housing community developer, providing 27,843 ownership opportunities in marginalized communities. Here's the truth. Ownership starts in your mind, regardless of your situation or location. Whether you are escaping the poverty trap, buying a home, or starting a business, the pursuit to own mindset is the key to unlocking your zip code and success. Join me to discuss new innovative ways to own real estate with tokenization, blockchain, crowdfunding, fractional ownership, and so much more. Let's go. Welcome to Pursuit to Own TV. Look, I'm so excited today. I had to stand up, people, because I can't believe the amount of value and lives we're going to change. Now, Pursuit to Own is an organization that is providing financial and real estate opportunities in your community, right? And today we're going to talk about the three, and I mean the three stages you got to go through to have ownership in anything. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Now, my game is real estate. We already know, but it's very important. And also, I need you guys to stick around because I'm curious to know, does anyone want to know how to make $100 in 10 minutes? Oh, $100 in 10 minutes. I'm sure that got somebody's attention. See, again, we are providing financial opportunities in your community, so stay tuned for that as well. But today is going to be an awesome day, guys, because this is the point where people are starting to realize, where do we start? Like, I get this question all the time. See, last time we talked about the struggle and self-reflection. That is important. That is a step that people always miss. And I don't want you to miss it, because that is where the growth happens. That's when you can really put a plan in place for you don't self-sabotage yourself, right? That's why we start with yourself. People always ask me, why don't you just start with the real estate? See, we don't focus on the sale, we focus on ourselves. That makes sense? Like, we don't focus on the sale first, we focus on ourselves, because you and your path is very different from anyone else. So I need you to lock in today, because we're gonna really teach you how to go through these phases so you understand where you at in your journey, right? You can't just wake up one day and say, hey, I wanna buy a home. Hey, I wanna buy rental properties, right? You have to go through the steps, and I'm gonna teach you that, because no one's better at it than getting through the steps than me. So come with me over to the desk, and we're gonna get busy today. We're gonna get busy. All right, so let's talk about it. 3 stages of success to ownership. So I like to put things in context. So the first stage is hope, right? Hope. The second stage is belief. And the third stage is pursuit. Gotta love that, right? Gotta have the pursuit in. Again, these things are coming from what I went through in life and how I've seen other people be impacted by applying these steps in their lives, right? So let's start. A lot of people ask all the time, Chris, how do I get my home out, right? My first thing is to identify what stage are you in. Now let's talk about hope. See, hope is for the people that, let's see if you recognize this person. The person that is looking at Redfin and they say, oh, I would love to have that house one day. Oh, I would love to live in that community one day. I hope I can live in this community. I hope I make enough money to live and buy a home in this community one day, right? It's a lot of hope, right? The problem with hope is there's a lot of, external things that needs to happen for you. There's no real accountability at all, right? You're just hoping something happens. See, your life is still going the same day to day. Nothing is changing. You're just hoping to happen. But it's the good thing about hope is that it is your first sign of desire, meaning like you have identified something that you want and you hope, and that's a good thing. I just want you to recognize what stage you are in, right? If you're in the hope stage, we all been there. You can't stay there, right? So when I deal with people with hope, the first thing I have to do is show them a way that make it possible, right? Because for them, they're only looking at the end result. They're not looking at anything about how they personally get there, right? See, once I get you over to belief. Now we cooking. Now we got something, right? We got something, right? So belief means that you have identified some evidence that this could work for you. Oh man, y'all, this could work for you, right? So why is that so powerful? That means that now it's not hope anymore, right? You have targeted in and you believe you can buy this home. Why? Because the person that's in that belief stage is the stage I do a lot of work in, right? That belief stage is a person that has took steps, right? They have enrolled in a home buying course. They have, maybe ran their credit. They have talked to a lender, right? They have done things that put them on a path to actually acquiring or buying the home, right? You can't buy the home without doing your work, financial work, because people always forget this part. Or they self-sabotage, they don't want to think about it, right? People focus on just the closing costs and grants, but that is not the biggest financial barrier to a transaction on this, right? The biggest barrier is that mortgage. We gotta talk about being bankable. We gotta talk about being able to afford the mortgage and qualify for the mortgage. We can't get around that. And I find people doing that all the time. When you say, oh, we have closing costs, there's a grant associated. They think it's no work required. That's not true. That grant is just to help you. That's it, just to help you on some little gaps that you may have in closing on the home. But I got you in the belief stage, right? Now, I love these people because these people are showing signs, right? They're investing in themselves. They're going out, they're taking steps. Now, these people may be in belief stage for a while because it depending on if they have the correct plan in place, that stage could be long, right? And that's why at Pursuit to Own, we do a great job of establishing the right path for you towards home ownership. But now let's get to my favorite. My favorite of all is pursuit stage. Man, now when you get to pursuit, right? When you get to the point in pursuit, that means that you have done a lot of work. And here's the thing, no one is stopping you at this point. It's just a matter of time. Like, you are going to buy your first home, you are going to get your first rental property, and you don't care what it takes. Man, I love those people. I love them, right? Because that's who I identify with, right? Because that person has found the superhero in them and have the courage to do it. See, we're not looking, again, for the transaction, right? I'm looking for the transformation, right? That's extremely important if you're first generation or you're buying your first home for the first time, right? I can't stress that enough, because the things that you're going through is not the same for someone who have done this before, own 3 and 4 properties. Like, you're not only buying the first home for you, you're buying the first home for your family. Like, I want you to feel that. You're buying the first home for your legacy. You're starting a legacy. That's a lot of pressure that comes with that, right? So I want you to clearly understand. But a person in the pursuit stage, this is a person that I understand my credit. I know I have some problems, but now I'm fixing it, right? This is a person that is already saying, look, my money is not right now, but I got a plan to make more money. I am budgeting this, I'm cutting this out, I'm going for this promotion, right? This is a person that has went and walked the community they want to be in. They have seen it. They went to the coffee shop. They have done all these things because it's real to them. They just know it's a matter of time, right? So again, 3 stages: hope, belief, and pursuit. Let me put it in a better way. I like to give context. I wish I can stand up, but I'm gonna give you some context. This is how I put it. So imagine you have a hope lane, you have a belief lane, and you have a pursuit lane, right? So I'm gonna explain to you in the way of traffic, right? So imagine you are going to work, right? And you're on 95. People that are on Highway 95, like, when it's rush hour if you actually travel on the road, correct? Right, now tell me if you don't see this when you're on these roads, right? When you're getting off in rush hour, it's this one exit that everybody gotta take, right? Everybody gotta take it. So what happens is you see the line for miles, and you see people get over in this lane, right? So the majority of the people that's in that lane are the people that don't travel that road, often, right? They don't know what's going on. They never got off on that exit. They just got to get through 95. This is not a daily route for them. So what happens? They stay in this long line hoping they can get to the exit in a timely fashion, like hoping. All right, so then you got the people in the belief stage, right? So belief is, you've seen this, tell me you've seen this. Now, a person that, they see this long line, but they know they go up a little bit further. They kind of like see if somebody gonna let them in, they ease up, but they get in front of you, but eventually they get over, right? They're like, all right, this is far enough, I went far enough. Like, those are my people in the belief stage. Like, they went further than the people that was in the hope lane, right? They went further. They waved at them, went over, got over. Hope smile was nice. And then you got the person that's in pursuit. Now, these people can piss you off, right? But you gotta admire what they have done. This is the person that you see that drives to the very last moment of the exit, get off, merge over, don't care, get in the lane, people blowing a horn or whatever. Now that person is in pursuit, right? Why is that person in pursuit? Because he knows everything about that exit. He's laughing at all these people in traffic because he knows he's gonna go all the way to the merging point and get over. Guys, that is the same thing how life works, right? It's the same thing. Once you go through something and it becomes routine to you, you can anticipate all the challenges and all the roadblocks you may have in life, right? That is what falling in love with the process helps with, right? Because if you understand, because my thing is, if I can teach you how to buy your first home, I don't want you just apply to buying your first home. I want it to apply, hey, I want to get a better job. Hey, I want to apply this and maybe start my own business one day, right? That is principle, but it's all about, you have to have someone showing you the path, right? You gotta have someone showing you the path. And for me, that is where we mess up. So I talk and I speak to so many organizations around the country in home buying seminars, right? And the truth of the matter is, 5 years ago, they may have a shot, right? But if you haven't noticed, we are in an affordable housing crisis, right? What does that mean? That means that the market, the cost of labor, the cost of inflation has outpaced whatever you make at your job. And I ain't talking about by a little, but by a lot. So imagine, as always, when you're first generation or you're just looking for your first home, it's always that gap there, because that's why you need down payment assistance, correct? Right? So you always naturally had a gap there. That's fine. It was fillable. It was fillable, right? But now the gap is so wide, you can't hope this is going to work for you. You can't have belief this is going to work for you. You got to be in pursuit right now, right? You have to be able to have tenacity and go after your goals, because they are few and far apart. And what happens is, when you go into these courses, instead of them focusing on how you get the property today, they're still teaching you the same basic steps, right? Financial literacy is it's available, right? It's financial execution that we need to be able to do, right? We know we should budget, right? I understand that part, but you got to have a targeted plan to own real estate. Real estate costs money, right? I got to tell you, like, I have a focus group now that we're working through, and it's amazing to me that, they want the home, but the second you ask them for a little bit of work on their behalf, they ghost themselves. Why would you do that? You want to create generational wealth, all this stuff. Hey, can you provide this one document about you? Gone. So did they really want it? No, right? That's self-sabotaging, right? We got to get past that. We got to get past that. So imagine a place where you can go and somebody who understands, see, the messenger matters, right? So I see a lot of people in these courses that they can't really identify with, right? So when I tell you something, it is because I went through it, right? Because I understand struggle can just be for a season, right? Struggle can be just for a season once you get serious about succeeding, right? You got that? Struggle can only be for a season once you get serious about succeeding, because once you get serious, that means you're in pursuit. You already identify, yep, there's a problem. We're gonna fix it. Real estate is not for everyone, right? I tell people, people come to me all the time, they were like, Chris, I don't think I should own a home. Sure, I don't think you should own a home either. But that don't mean you can't own real estate, right? That does not mean you can give up on the path of generational wealth because you just don't want to own a home. I'll be completely honest with you now, right? I understand completely. Matter of fact, if I was younger, it's probably more feasible now for someone to go get a fourplex, right? That's probably the most profitable thing you can do as a first-time home buyer, and it makes the most sense, right? But as you can see, homes are built from the 1940s and 50s in most cities, right? So These are all new bills that you have to look forward to. So people lived in what was already created. Well, the world has changed. So your ownership strategy should have changed, right? But let's get back to how you can make $100 in 10 minutes. Because here's the thing that I found that is lacking in most home buying courses, right? The ones you're in today. Now, we can talk about credit. Everybody understands that we have to have better credit, and that is something that is a real focus, right? But the thing that no one talks about is how do you create more income? See, you can walk through them doors and you can have a 500 credit score and you can make, let's say, $29,000 a year, right? Now, I can get your credit score, they can get your credit score up to a 780. 780, awesome. That's something, right? That's very helpful. I mean, that means that all of your, your credit cards, all this stuff goes down for an interest standpoint. Awesome accomplishment. Still doesn't mean you can afford a house, right? Because you're still making this money. You got to be able to afford that payment. So a lot of people are getting stuck in that space, meaning like I got my credit together, but they never think about how to increase the income. How do I increase my opportunity to be able to pay for a home with comfort, right? We don't want to put you in a home that makes you a prisoner, right? I want you to be able to have some freedom with it. So many times when I'm talking to individuals, like you got to take income and creating revenue extremely serious, right? Because that is the biggest barrier to most people I meet, right? You can do things to help credit and you can probably get results pretty quickly. But it's hard for people to learn how to create more income for themselves faster, right? It's hard to do that. And you, as you go through this journey and you figure out what phase you are, that's why I like catching you when you're just starting off, because we can build you up as you go, right? It is certain things that we can do in this organization that help you. Like here's a great example, right? So you see this, right? This is a Pursuit to Own gift card. Now, I have an opportunity to, I have to promote this show. And as I stated in the very first show, it's like I care about this community. A lot of the things we do are going to be for people in this community, right? You, right? I want you to benefit from the things we're doing. I want you to see someone in this audience to be the homeowner that we're describing today. I want somebody to come to this show and tell the world that it is still possible to become a homeowner, right? That's what we're looking for. But getting back to this, $100 in 10 minutes. See, I have a chance that I can just get promoted online. I can get Facebook ads, or I can give people in my community a chance to make more money, right? And here's one simple way of doing it, guys. One simple way. See, with this card right here, what does it do? That means that you're paying attention, right? You can't do anything in life unless you pay attention, right? That's why people hate doing things for free, because people don't pay attention. That's a real thing. If it's something you get free, you'll throw it away. I don't really need that, right? But if it's something you paid for and you counting every dollar that comes in your household, trust me, you're gonna make sure that thing is of value, right? So here is a way to make $100 every single week by doing a few things for us, right? I want an engaged audience, right? If this message is not for you, share it to people that you think that fall into this category, right? I want you to comment on the social media platform. I want you to comment on the YouTube, right? Because what we're gonna do, we're gonna take those questions, we're gonna answer them directly, right? We need you to help us grow the organization, because what happens is the more and more we grow together, the more opportunities I can provide for you guys. And it just doesn't stop with this one-time thing. I'm not a one-time kind of guy. So the great winners, we're gonna announce. We're gonna find you on Facebook, find you on Instagram. We're gonna find you and track you down. But I want everybody, once they win, A, I wanna know your story. If you can, if you ain't mind sharing, and B, I want you to keep this card, because at the end of the year, we're gonna do a grand drawing. And that's gonna be for all the people that won. You know why? Because they put in the work all year. They put in the work. That means they took their time to watch this show. They took this time to share it. And I think they're moving from hope to belief, right? Because once you do things, once you study things and see things enough, your mindset starts to change. So once I know I expose my information to you enough, some of this stuff is gonna start feeling like in belief for you. Like you're gonna feel like you can go out and you can attain a real estate property, right? You're gonna be able to go out and do the thing that you always said you wanted to do, right? That is extremely, extremely important, right? So we're gonna drop some other great news, and we're gonna have a whole show on this. This is gonna be a whole show, but this is why we are doing things different. See, I'm a person, and I like to be an example to everyone, right? Because if I did it, that means you can do it. Why? Because again, I've been a real estate broker, I'm a real estate developer, I'm a real estate owner, but you know what the other real thing I am? I am a real poverty survivor, baby. Real poverty survivor. Like, I went through it, right? I went through it. It took me years or something to just get the smallest things in life, but I didn't never let it deter me, right? So that is what I'm looking for. So I went through that with you, right? So imagine someone that has an opportunity now to help others, but this is the crazy part, and this is the power of pursuit, right? You're talking about somebody that used to work in a tobacco field, right? Tobacco field, right? And now this man is selling tokenized real estate. Oh, we're gonna talk about that, guys. We're talking about taking the past and bringing it to the future, right? So we have a fund, all right? We have a Pursuit to Own token. That's right, and it was designed for you. That's right, I'm watching you. That hardworking person out there on the street, that person that, you know, they that close. But this comes with a purpose. Like, I need to see that you're that person that's willing to go the extra mile, because you gotta want it for yourself. I can't want it more than you do. Can't want it more than you do. But let me just tell you the power of what we're gonna be able to do with that, right? So now, as we grow as an organization, you're gonna have an opportunity to buy a Pursuit to Own token, right? And it's funny enough, because it will be $100, right? That means anyone in that area, as we open it up, we'll be able to invest $100 to have a part of any of my projects or a part of that community, right? That's number one. But number two, what it does, it gives me the ability to work with like-minded people to raise money to help people just like you. That means I can skip the line on going to all these traditional places and raising money. And here's the better part. Now, why would I do that? Because I want to send a message. I want to send a message that somebody is out here fighting for you, right? What I am doing is different from everyone else. Like, when I go out and I get land and we're building communities, all this stuff, it is for hardworking people like you, right? I am dedicating this to the first-time home buyers and people that have vouchers, quite honestly, right? If you're in a home ownership program, we're looking for all of these people, because what I'm trying to do is make the impossible possible for you, right? And that takes community. And that's why we are having you share and be a part of our community, because we have so many other things. What you got to understand is, once you get into a group and you guys have the same level of commitment, your life starts to change whether you believe it or not, right? You start to behave certain ways because you've been exposed to different things. Like, just because you're in your setting now does not mean you have to stay there. You can always find a new setting, right? And that's what Pursuit to Own is really about. Because I get a lot of questions like, Chris, I see you mixing life with real estate, because they're the same to me, right? I struggled in both. Right? I struggle in both. The truth of the matter is, real estate was a thing that I didn't have growing up, but it's the thing that gave me financial freedom now. Isn't that crazy when you think about it? But that's how you found your purpose in life. If you would have told me I went from a tobacco field to tokenizing real estate, I would have never believed you, right? I had no idea what you're talking about, all right? But I am moving forward because I have a passion for you. I know you. I know all your deepest thoughts. I know everything on this road that you got to get through. The question is, are you willing? That's the question, right? There is multiple resources. There are multiple, financial institutions that are willing to work with you. It really comes down to you, right? It comes down to you. And as we work every single week, you're going to see me bring people to this show that you can identify with. Now, the thing I wish, look, in my day, we had the Polaroid, I know the little cameras and, Polaroid thing. Like, I wish, growing up, I could have captured some of those moments, but I didn't know those moments was gonna be so pivotal, right? It was just a struggle. Everybody wants to hide a struggle. It was crazy enough. We was, We had a little project of when we were doing this show, like trying to find some pictures, in your youth. And now, as you can, figure out, it wasn't a lot because nobody wanted to take a picture or remember a time when you were hurting the most, right? But there was a few that we did find. But if I would have only knew, like this would have been how my life would have turned out, man, I would have filmed all of it. But I can't. Right? But what I can do is film you, right? I can film this opportunity that we're providing other people, right? Because they need to see it. They need to see it. They need to see it, right? Because success, it comes with scars. It comes with scars. It's no one that's going to start off life and just go from zero to they are filthy rich. If you did it, you are either two things. You are either lucky or you're lying. You are lucky or you're lying, right? So success has scars and it's okay. It's okay, right? You need to be prepared for those things, right? I gotta get you to a point where you have enough courage to pull your credit report. Let's start there. Guess what? You can hope it's not bad all you want. But unless you pull it and start working on it, it always stays in. See, the thing about bad stuff is you don't have to do anything to keep it bad, right? That's why people don't, that's why people don't want to know about anything. If you don't do anything about your problem, trust me, your problem will stay your problem. Now, if you want to change your problem, that means you got to put in some work. And that's the thing people are not, ready to do until they're forced to, right? So let's not be forced to it. Let's take whatever you got in your hope. Because I think everyone should have the opportunity to own a home or own their first piece of real estate because so many other people have created wealth from it. And I'm not telling you this is risk-free, but I'm telling you it's worth it. Because again, if you're from someone from my background, you're not just opening a door just for you. You're opening the door to your family to come. Like that one move will change the trajectory of all your legacy, right? Because they got somebody in their family they can look up to. They got somebody can say, I own this. That's powerful, man. That is powerful when you're dealing with people that, struggling paycheck to paycheck. To see someone who is stable and say, I accomplished this, that's the stuff that changes lives, guys. And the more and more we do that, the more and more opportunity comes for you, right? It just doesn't stop when you buy the first home. What you're gonna realize is if I can do this, I can do more things in life, right? So as we wrap things up, we're gonna talk about, again, 3 stages. Let me know, comment, email us, let us know, right? What stage you feel like you're in? Are you in that hope stage? You look at the house, that house is awesome, great kitchen. I will hope I can get a house like this one day. Are you in that stage? Or you moved over to belief. Like, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna enroll in this housing counseling program I saw online. I'm gonna reach out to pursue their own. Like, I'm ready to start, I'm ready to go to work. That's my belief, people. Are you in that lane? Are you a believer at this point in yourself? Not me, a believer in you, right? And then if you are already in pursuit, holla at your boy, because you are my favorite people of all time, because I understand what it took for you to get there, right? I understood, and I promise you, if I can get those people into this ecosystem, we're gonna have a lot of owners right here in your community. So guys, we're gonna end this thing, and remember, hey, $100 for 10 minutes of work. I mean, come on, that is an opportunity. That is a financial opportunity for you guys, right? We gotta learn how to promote for people that are out here promoting for you at the end of the day. So, as always, in the meantime, to the next time, stay in pursuit. Let's go.
Thank you for listening to the Pursuit to Own podcast. If today's episode inspired you, don't stop here. Take the next step toward owning your future. Visit pursuitToOwn.com to sign up and join our growing community of wealth builders. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Pursuit to Own for updates, tips, and success stories. Together, we're turning dreams into assets. Until next time, stay in pursuit.